What is up everybody, how is it going? Welcome back to World of Tanks. Today I am back with yet another news episode, even though I had some other plans for today's episode, but I simply received so many requests and questions about the upcoming FV217 Badger, and a lot of you guys wanted to see some more details, updated version of the Badger, because WarGaming already did some tuning to this vehicle that is going to replace our much loved Death Star FV215B 183. So I guess quickly let's take a look at the upgraded version. I think I can say pre-patch 9.21 test server version. Most likely this is how this vehicle is going to enter into the first iteration. At least the first version of the 9.21's test server. And I'm also going to share first details and pictures about the Elc Even 90 Tier 8 light tank, premium light tank from France. And I have to tell you guys, the first time I saw the pictures about the Elc Even 90, I for some reason simply couldn't stop laughing, because this vehicle in my opinion looks super ridiculous with the turret. But more about that a little bit later. Let's start today's episode with FV217 Badger's details and some pictures as well for you. And a huge shout out to the dailybounce.net blog who made this super easy for me to compare the old version or the first version of this Badger and this version right here. In the brackets you see numbers that they buffed or that they nerfed. But Elc Even 90's stats come straight from the What.Express Russian World of Tanks news portal, I believe. So I had to do some translation for you for that. But FV217 Badger tank that is going to replace 183 in the upcoming patch 9.21, so I would say you have roughly 1 month to grind out your 183 if you would like to keep it as a special vehicle and if you would like to get Badger as an extra tier 10 for free. So hit points, 2100 hit points, gun is OQF 123mm Mark 1 boomstick, with APDS Mark 1, APDS Mark 2 and with HESH Mark 1 ammunition types. Shell penetration values 272, 320 and 130. Shell average damage 480, which was actually buffed from the original version. Buffed by 60 damage and 100 damage extra for the HESH rounds. So 480 and 620 with HESH rounds. Reload time of course was nerfed because they decided to buff alpha damage by 60 points. So reload time now is 8.1 seconds plus 1.29 seconds on the old one. That equals minus 0.60 less rounds per minute. Rate of fire at the moment is 7.41 rounds per minute. Aiming time is super awesome, 1.63 seconds aiming time. Average damage per minute 3556, which is going to be the highest DPM in this game. At the moment stock tortoise, not stock tortoise, I mean without any equipment or boosters, has 3380. If I remember correctly, so this vehicle has almost 200 extra DPM. Accuracy is also really awesome, 0.28 or 0.29 rounded up. So firepower of this vehicle is going to be simply amazing, because what is not to like about the best DPM in this game? And you are going to see those 500 plus rolls after every, let's say 7.5 seconds if you push this vehicle as hard as you can. Or actually you can go lower than that easily, so I don't know, 7.2 second reload time or something like that. Gun handling, aiming time is godlike, accuracy is super good, and gun depression minus 10 degrees of gun depression. You can work all those ridge lines, hill bumps and so on. Gun elevation is also nice, plus 20 degrees, and I believe gun traverse limit was 15 degrees to the left and 15 degrees to the right. So you are quite nicely set and you can do some sniping while standing still. And by the way, DPM was nerfed by 143 points from the previous version. Hull traverse speed 22 degrees, gun traverse speed 16.7 degrees. Yes, this tank is not the fastest turning vehicle in this world. Top speed was nerfed by 4.3 kilometers per hour. Now top speed moving forward is 30 and moving backwards is 12. Now that 12 kph reverse speed is actually quite bad, super bad, if I may say so. So you have to be super careful when you get spotted. Let's say when you're on the top of the hill, it takes you quite some time to get away from getting spotted or to get behind some kind of cover. Terrain resistance numbers on hard 1.7, on medium 1.9, and on soft 2.8 or 2.9 rounded up. Hull armor was actually improved. It already had really crazy frontal armor. Now it has 355 millimeters thick frontal hull armor. 101 on the sides and 38 on the rear, which was buffed by 7 millimeters. And as we can see from this picture that WarGaming released, this vehicle doesn't have those epic weak spot beacons on the top of the vehicle like Tortoise has or like any other tank in this line has, starting from tier 5, 82, 87, 88, 8015. Every single vehicle has those weak spot beacons on the top of the vehicle. But to see the full armor profile or the full armor value 3D models, we simply have to wait a little bit more. This vehicle is going to be 65 tons heavy tank with 70 ton weight limit, 950 horsepower engine with close to 15 horsepower per ton power to weight ratio. So mobility, overall mobility is actually quite average or maybe even under average. It has a decent power to weight ratio for this kind of vehicle, but that 12 kilometers per hour reverse speed and 22 degrees tank reverse speed are actually quite bad. Yeah, now moving on, concealment of stationary vehicle 24.2%, concealment of moving vehicle 14.5%. View range 390 meters, which is pretty standard, and this vehicle is going to have 6 crew members like Tortoise, so you can easily move your crew from Tortoise to this vehicle if you would like to do that. And this is going to be our replacement for 183. I think, once again, those stats are going to be pre-patch 9.21 test server patch, or at least for the first version of this test server. You asked for it, and this is what you get. Hopefully you like it, and of course let me know what you think about this vehicle. And now, after its deep aim was nerfed by 143 points, and after its alpha damage was buffed by 60 points. Interesting. But now let's move on into our second topic today, which is Elc Even 90, upcoming tier 8 premium light tank from France. So first pictures, and this is the reason why I couldn't stop laughing. In my opinion, this vehicle simply looks ridiculous. You can see how small this vehicle actually is compared to the mouse and compared to one of the smallest French vehicle side by side from one of those pictures. Yeah, it looks ridiculous, let's be honest over here. Or maybe it is kinda cute to some of you, I am not going to judge. Anyway, first details about Elc Even 90 in full Russian, but I am going to do some translation for you. The top left column is firepower, penetration 175, damage 220, and damage per minute 1317. Yep, 1300 damage per minute, guys. You might ask, why such a low DPM for a tier 8 premium light tank? Well, because this is going to be yet another auto-loading light tank. Yes, I know how much you love those autoloaders. I know how much a lot of you guys love those autoloaders. Reload time of the full magazine 25.5 seconds, rate of fire close to 6 rounds per minute, and shells in the magazine free. 3 shells in the magazine. Reload time between every single shot is going to be 2.3 seconds. So 3 shells in the magazine, 660 damage per one clip, if you penetrate and if you deal damage with every single shot. Shell velocity 760 meters, which is actually quite low. But moving on, next column is maneuverability, or I don't know, gun handling actually. 0.36 accuracy, that first number is accuracy. Aiming time 2.3 seconds. Now let's skip a lot of those mini numbers over here. Gun elevation is 13 degrees. Gun depression is -9 degrees. Not bad gun depression for this kind of vehicle. For autoloaders to get -9 is always nice. Turret reverse speed is 48 degrees per second and hull reverse speed 45 degrees per second. Mobility, this vehicle is going to have 160 horsepower engine with 23.88 power to weight ratio. Not bad. Now speed is really awesome as well. Top speed 70 kilometers per hour. Reverse speed 20 kilometers per hour, and terrain resistance numbers are super low as well. 0.67, 0.76 and 1.3. So no resistance whatsoever. So this vehicle is going to be super nasty and annoying bugger, believe me guys. With crazy gamma rating, with crazy speed, super small, it is going to be one annoying tank to kill. This vehicle is going to have 900 HP, if I can read it correctly, I believe. And armor, well, let's say no armor whatsoever. This vehicle is not going to have any armor whatsoever. View range 380 meters. And now camo values, guys. While stationary, 38.8, and while moving 38.8, because this is a light tank, your moving camo is exactly the same as your stationary camo. 38.8%. But guys, keep in mind, everything is subject to change. Please keep that in mind. But this is some crazy camo over here. Yeah. And I believe this is it. Oh, by the way, this vehicle is going to be only 6.7 tons heavy tank. My bloody motorcycle is heavier than that. Not really, but you know what I mean. So, ladies and gents, this was my today's episode to you. First preview about the upcoming Tier 8 light tank from France, Elc Even 90. First details, but once again keep in mind everything is subject to change. I hope it was informative, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, thumbs up button is for that. If you enjoy my content, subscribe button is for that. Stay awesome, take care and bye. Whew. I'm out of breath now.